Good evening, and welcome to Supreme News, where we bring you the latest breaking stories from around the globe. Israel hits Houthi targets in Yemen, 24 killed in strike on southern Lebanon. Stay tuned as we bring the news in details. The Israeli military has announced that dozens of its aircraft carried out airstrikes on Houthi targets in Yemen in response to a recent attack on Israel. The strikes, according to the military, focused on key infrastructure in the city of Hodeidah, specifically targeting power plants and seaport facilities. The Houthi-run television channel Al Masirah broadcast footage of firefighters working to extinguish a massive blaze in Hodeidah. The network reported that the strikes resulted in at least 4 deaths and left 33 others wounded. In a speech to military personnel in Tel Aviv, Israel's Defense Minister Yoav Gallant praised the effectiveness of the strikes, describing them as impressive. He emphasized that Israel has no desire to escalate the war or open new fronts, but reiterated that any attack on Israel would be met with a decisive response. If anyone attacks Israel, as the Houthis have recently done with missiles and throughout the conflict with cruise missiles and drones, we will ensure they pay the price. We know how to settle these accounts, and we will do so, Gallant said. In a statement, the Houthis declared that they had taken precautionary measures and that Israeli airstrikes would not deter them from continuing their operations, including attacks on shipping routes and Israel itself. The recent flare-up followed a ballistic missile attack launched by the Houthis on Israel's Ben Gurion airport on Saturday, coinciding with Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's return from a trip to the United States. The Houthi group has also frequently targeted shipping vessels in the Red Sea since November, accusing them of having ties to Israel, though many of the vessels hit have no direct connection to the country. According to the Houthi media office, the Israeli airstrikes also struck the port of Ras Issa and 2 power stations in Hodeidah, a city known as a stronghold for the Iran-backed Houthi rebels. Major General Tom Barr, the commander of the Israeli Air Force, warned that Israel would respond forcefully to any threat. Anyone who tries to harm the citizens of the State of Israel, we will find them. We will take every necessary measure and employ all the capabilities at our disposal, which are many, to deepen and expand the scope of our strikes, Barr stated. Meanwhile, in Lebanon, Israeli airstrikes on Sunday killed at least 24 people in 2 adjacent buildings near the southern city of Sidon. The strikes targeted the area of Ain al-Delb, and the Lebanese Health Ministry reported that at least 29 people were injured. The airstrikes in southern Lebanon and the Bekaa region have intensified, with local media describing continuous bombardments throughout the day. Lebanon's caretaker Prime Minister, Najib Mikati, expressed concerns over his country's capacity to handle the increasing number of displaced people. He estimated that the number of displaced individuals could be approaching 1 million. There are 772 shelters currently housing 118,000 people. These shelters are providing basic needs, including living necessities, food, and shelter. However, we believe the actual number of displaced people is much higher than the official figure, Mikati said. Since the start of the Gaza war in October, Israel and Hezbollah have been exchanging almost daily fire, leading to the displacement of tens of thousands on both sides of the Israeli-Lebanese border. In recent days, Israeli strikes in Lebanon have become more intense, particularly following the killing of Hezbollah leader Hassan Nasrallah in a southern suburb of Beirut last Friday. During a conversation with journalists aboard his flight from Belgium to Italy, Pope Francis expressed concern over Israel's military actions in Gaza and Lebanon. He suggested that the scale and intensity of the attacks have crossed the bounds of what is morally acceptable. Without naming Israel directly, the Pope remarked that while self-defense is justified, it must be proportionate to the threat. When there is a disproportionate response, there is often an underlying intent to dominate, which exceeds the moral limits of warfare. Any country, regardless of who they are, that conducts operations in such an excessive manner is engaging in immoral behavior, Francis said. Relax as we play you some of the disturbing video from the airstrike. That's all for today's top stories from Supreme News. We hope you stay informed and empowered. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button, so you never miss an update on the stories that matter most. Stay tuned, stay supreme. See you next time. Bye.